Weller.
Here.
Runyon.
Here.
Holt. Weber. Deanne.
Here.
Keith.
Here.
Yoder.
Here.
Coleman. Present. Dyson.
Here.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Hinkle. Young.
Here.
Ritter.
Here.
Irwin. Lott.
Here.
Allen.
Here.
Bannon.
Here.
Kestner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Here. Okay, we got quorum. This time I ask for motion to approve the agenda. Motion by Young, second by Arbogast. Discussion. I'm going to add, after the Veterans Assistance Committee, Kelly Cotton Coleman to talk about the Livingston County Housing Development. With that change, I ask for approval. With the change. Second. Motion by Ritter, second by Arbogast with the change. All in favor? Aye. All against? Motion carries. Everybody seen the minutes? And motion to approve the minutes. Motion by Station, second by Gimbel. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. Those against? Motion carries. All right, we're down to the consent agenda. Everybody seen the consent agenda? I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Jason Bunny. Second by Ritter. Discussion. Roll call, please.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say roll call to that. Arbogast.
Yes.
Bunny.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Carlin.
Yes.
Weller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Deanne.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Dyson.
Abstain.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
No.
Ritter.
Yes.
Irwin. Lott.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Bannon.
Yes.
Kestner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes. Okay. Moving down to the action agenda committee reports. Finance Committee, Tim Schaefer, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are blessed tonight to have the presence of Judy Kramer, who would give us an update on her report from the circuit clerk's office. And it is cold out, and we'll hold you up.
Good evening. I have with me reports for the year. The last 6 months, which was June 2014 to November, through November 2014. We had receipts of $1,617.98. The disbursements that I covered here are the fines and the fees, which totaled $235,208.62. For the year, it was $2,238,960. $210,319.43. The total paid out for fines and fees is $534,089.44. You have a copy of your report from the last 6 months. You can review the various line items for the disbursements. That shows where all the money is paid out to. We paid just under $500,000 to the state government for taxpayers. I told the committee before that we have a collection agency to help with the collection of outstanding fines and costs. And since we started, we've collected $193,877.01. The fee for the collection agency is paid by the defendant. We have a net that we have received since the inception of the collection agency of $664,185.31. We also collect child support. Child support payments are largely made now to the state disbursement unit, but we have funds that still come to our office. This past year, that totaled $5,223,271.90, which is a large sum for a county this size. I have, as I said, a report for the year. Is there any question that you want to know about or ask me?
Any questions for Judy?
If not, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Judy.
Excellent. Mr. Chairman, I have a motion we accept that.
Motion by Schaefer, second by Jack. Mr. VA. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Arthur, yes. Yes. Tony?
Yes.
Kimball?
Yes.
Carlin?
Yes.
Waller?
Yes.
Mays?
Yes.
Weber? Shetty?
Yes.
Heath?
Yes.
Gilder?
Yes.
Coleman? Yes. Steichen?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Ritter?
Yes.
Locke?
Yes.
Allen? Yes. Bannon?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Okay, next for the board's consideration, we've got a resolution regarding expenditure for a maintenance agreement and some computer software with Johnson Controls. Chad, given Carson and our any commentary on that that you'd like to share with us? Just as Chad has explained to us, the need arises because we have got an outstanding building whose efficient operations are predicated upon systems running accurately, and unfortunately, some of those systems are not doing that at this time. And this is an effort with the expertise of the folks at Johnson Controls of getting it back to where the original intent of the architects and engineers, how the building should function. Great. Well, I'll motion to approve that.
Motion by Schaefer, second by Arbogast. Discussion? Mr. Steichen?
Yeah, Tim, how many times have we entered into something like this with Johnson Controls since we took over the building?
Building, we have operated without a service agreement with Johnson Controls to this point, Joe, and it's the thinking of the maintenance folks that hasn't worked out as well as one would have hoped, and to get the building back where it should be, we're going to need their help, or somebody's help.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arvidas. Yes. Money.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Vieti.
Yes.
Heath.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Coleman. Yes. Steiger.
No.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Block.
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Bannon.
Yes.
Kestner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Second resolution for consideration has to do with an item that was part of the capital request items that we had provided for in the fall budget sessions. And this is the, I guess, probably the first one this year that we're addressing. And I don't know if Administrator Cox had any commentary on that.
We did, we had to rebid it, when we put it out for bid, there was a prevailing wage regulation in the state of Illinois that gives fair chance for Illinois bidders to bid. We didn't have any more bidders, but however, that changed our original bid from our company to the $11,866 increase for that project. The padded cell, which is a control cell, we increased that by the same reasoning, prevailing wage, $1,075.30. But we did discover in the contract that we can save 9.5% by paying it up front, so we can recoup approximately $4,500 back by doing that.
Which I regard as wise with the effort.
Yes.
And I think it should be added that our staff was kind enough and earnest enough to take the trouble of going to Indiana to see where these folks are. They're out of another state far away from us, so it's good that you have some good reference points, and they took the trouble to travel to Indiana where they had worked recently and had done an extensive, reasonably sized job as is ours, and we're satisfied from the jail personnel, not just the visual effects of their observation, but actually spoke to the folks who actually had to put up with the stuff, and they were very pleased. I make a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion by Schaefer, second by Kelly Cotton Coleman. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arvidas. Yes. Money.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Weller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Vieti.
Yes.
Heath.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Coleman. Yes. Steichen.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Block.
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Bannon.
Yes.
Kestner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, the last resolution we have tonight is a follow-up to information that we had gotten from our state's attorney last time regarding what the county is an outcropping of a freedom of information circumstance that was pursued going some years back now, and as a function of a ruling of a upper court obligated, in our case, us, for some attorney's fees incurred by result of those Freedom of Information Act regarding a murder case. And as a consequence of that, he did a good job in getting us the figure that you see in front of us. That's not the full vote of attorney's fees, but the attorneys involved are the state's attorney, at least got it negotiated down to the figure you see. So I'd make a motion that we pay the settled upon amount of $34,000, and that puts the matter is finished.
Motion by Schaefer, second by Steichen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
RBS? Yes. Money?
Yes.
Kimball?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Muller?
Yes.
Mays?
Yes.
Vieta?
Yes.
Pease?
Yes.
Yoder?
Yes.
Coleman? Yes. Steichen?
Yes.
Schaefer?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Ritter?
Yes.
Flock?
Yes.
Allen? Yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Kestner?
Yes.
Peterson?
Yes.
Okay, somebody else will spend some money now.
Thank you, Tim. Moving on to Highway Committee, in the absence of Darrell Holt and Mark Runyon, tonight Bob Young will give the highway report.
Yeah, I'll give the highway report by introducing Dave Winter.
I thought you'd take care of it. Good evening. Number of items tonight on our highway agenda. Assuming the thumb drive is in. Okay. Item one on the agenda is a bridge petition from the Brooks Kirk Road District Okay. There's a small box culvert about a mile south, or exactly 1 mile south of 116 on 1050, right? It's actually on 1600 North Road at the intersection with 1050 East. It was hit by a truck a couple years ago, and we have finally gotten to the design to fix that. And what we want to do is extend the culvert. It's not going to, okay, it's right at an intersection that it was hit, and in order to fix this, what we came up with was to extend the culvert another 8 feet to the north, so that it can, the next picture, you can see looking north here, you can see how close it is to the intersection, the turning movements, the semi-trucks. This happens to be a detour route. There's a legal load only structure on Route 116, and semi-traffic, overweight semi-traffic does occasionally come down this road and turn to go east and west to avoid that structure on 116. So anyway, we don't know who hit it. There's no insurance money involved because it was a hit and run. So that the township is petitioning for half the cost. We've estimated the cost to be about $18,000. The second one I don't have video for, or photos for, is an agreement for engineering services with Coon Logsworth Springfield. They're the same firm that we have normally hired for township bridge inspection, but due to the transition in our office and some lack of staff anticipated this summer, we had asked the committee to allow us to contract the county bridge inspection that's due this year. There's 53 structures that will become delinquent in inspection this year, so we'd like to hire Coon Logsworth to look at those 53 structures. They've given us an engineering agreement for a cost not to exceed $13,500 that will be paid out of our fuel tax maintenance funds. Third and fourth items are two federal aid projects that are scheduled for the April state funding in Springfield. There's a bridge that's currently closed. It's about a mile west of Manville, half mile south of Route 17. This is the structure from a distance, but this structure is currently closed. We now have the plans ready to go, and it's ready for the April, or the end of April letting. The estimate is about $220,000 for federal highway funds, or federal allotment, and $55,000 split between Newtown Township and our department. There's also included as addendum number 2 in this agreement is a resolution that is now being required by the state. We've never done it this way before, but it's a new procedure. They want us to actually have an appropriate resolution that shows how the local agency will pay their 20% share of the cost. We are still splitting that with Newtown, but because the agreement is with the county, they want a resolution to say the county will be responsible for that. Likewise, with the item number 4, it's the Hoyer Road. This is a major truck route from Old Route 66 to the Weston Road. It gets about 2,200 vehicles a day, especially during the summertime, because it services 3 different quarries and a couple of elevators. So it's we're starting to get running that traps water in that pavement and make it dangerous. So we want to mill and fill that particular one. The estimated cost for that is $680,000 federal funds and $130,000 to the county to be paid out as matching tax. So as addendum number 2 of that agreement, there's a resolution also to approve for appropriating $150,000 from the county matching tax for the county share of the cost of the project. And the last agreement is one we brought to you last month. We discovered after we approved the agreement, there was a bust in the estimate of cost for that project. The state had provided us the, I'm going to throw the eye out of the bus on this. They said go ahead and do it with a $250,000 estimate, when in reality the structure is estimated to cost about $375,000. That adds another $100,000 to the federal share, and the state came back after we approved it at last month's meeting and saying they would like to see a revised agreement. So, like I said, you've already acted on this one, but we're asking you to act on it for a little money.
So, I understand what they're saying. They're saying, hey, would you please, we think this is good as again. Well, I guess, are they going to, what would happen if we were to say, you know, you guys agree with this? And would they just say, too bad, so sad, or what would they say?
It really doesn't matter, because the way, if you read every single word of that agreement, it's an 80-20 split, and we would owe the 20%. So they're willing to, I think we had 50,000 last week. We're bumping ours by 25,000. The state is bumping theirs by 100,000. So no, that would fly.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I mean,
they wouldn't hurt you.
Yeah.
Dave,
Yes.
I see in the agenda, it says structure number 053-4021, but in the slide it says 053-5533.
Those are it's the difference between the existing structure number and the proposed structure number.
So there's a change.
Yeah, when you build a completely new structure, it's a new number. You don't use the old number anymore. So depending on which, you're taking a picture of the old structure, but we're building a new structure. So that's the only difference. And the last item on the agenda is road use agreement. Hope to get this to you sooner, but it's still within the time frame of what Edward wants to do. We have approved road use agreements in place for both the Flanagan South project and the Southern Access Extension previously approved by the board. This is the third pipeline that is running from Pontiac Flanagan Station northeasterly into Indiana. And we have successfully negotiated very similar road use agreement that we had in the past. I had a peer review on the agreement, and both sides have agreed to this. We've increased our administrative fee to process this to $12,000. So Enbridge will owe us $12,000. They've also provided us performance bond to protect our county highways in the amount of $2,870,000, plus another attachment for this agreement is a certificate of insurance in the amount of $10 million to cover the county as an additional insured. So we're satisfied with this agreement. We recommend passage for Enbridge to do this work. It sounds like we're going to get two construction jobs this summer. One going southwest and one going northeast. So that's what we have for tonight.
Okay, anyone have any questions? Joe?
Dave, that bridge, Archie, or the one from Manville, you said that we got to enter into a different agreement with the state. We have to enter into any kind of agreement with the townships over that too?
We already have, because the township has petitioned the county previously, probably a couple years ago, at least 2 years ago. The process starts with a petition from the township to the county for half the cost of the bridge. Well, when we apply the federal money to it and make it an 80/20 project, then half the cost becomes 10% to the township and 10% to the county. So we already have that mechanism in place. So that, I wouldn't worry too much about us obligating the full 20% because we have another agreement in place that.
Well, I understand that. I just, with the new guideline by the state, I don't know if that was going to affect what you already had in place, what you have in place with usually all road commissioners, correct? The standard, when they get on the list and enter into that, they all enter into the same agreement, correct?
Well, the procedure is the same for every township, yes.
Right. I just didn't know if that was going to change for the
No,
state.
that's a pretty good statute, actually. That's in place and remains in place. The state just has an attitude that because we're the lead agency and the agreement is between IDOT and the county, they don't want township to be involved in it at all. But they are.
Right, sure.
You know.
Absolutely. And they should be.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, any other? Okay, can we put those all together then?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'd make a motion that we approve items 1 through 6 under the highway report.
Motion by Young, second by Steichen. Any other discussion?
I just want to say his pictures are fabulous, and he has a future career in farming.
For my staff, yes. I can't claim the copyright for all those photos myself.
Any other discussion, comments? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arvidas. Yes. Bunny.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Giddens.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Coleman. Yes. Steichen.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Manning.
Yes.
Kestner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Dave, anything else?
Only that next month I'll be back. We're having our big, our annual maintenance levy first week of March. So I'll have quite a bit of contracts to bring to you next month for the summer maintenance for the seal coat work, the rock, rock maintenance and all that. So that's progressing. In fact, it's been advertised to get ready for that.
Okay.
Thank you. Chairman Van, I think that concludes the highway report.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Moving to Agricultural and Zoning Committee, Bill Flop Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Chuck headed our way here.
Thanks for your time this evening. We're going to start on the agenda items first. The first item on the agenda being the proposed preliminary plat of Stone Lake Estates subdivision. You have a copy of the report was attached to your information provided to you. This is a proposed 11 lot subdivision in section 5 of Indian Grove Township. It's just west of Fairbury 124. This is a previous stone quarry operation. We're planning on developing along the south and west boundaries of that with some housing development. So we have a piece of property that's going to be developed. At this time, we propose to be 11 lots. This being a preliminary plat, it's going to come back before you as a final plat later on. So it's going to be, when you get it, it's going to be a little bit changed. The exhibit that you have in regards to this includes the plat survey with this. If you look at that plat survey, exhibit 3, exhibit 2, they had a reserved access along the north side up here, which would be only 50 or 40 feet wide. I'm going to be working with them to increase that to 60 feet wide in case they were to develop the land to the north. That needs to become a public road, so that's frontage along that public road. So that would need to be increased to 60 feet. Put it in there. We're also going to be discussing some of the information that goes with it. It's going to be a homeowners association because of the water involved in this particular property. Because we have a property access lane going in here also. So we're talking to change some of the lanes with that. So we can find that back to you. You see this altered slightly, just kind of reflect the way it should be. This bid go before hearing before the planning commission on February 2nd. And they made a recommendation this be approved. It is being presented to you basically at this point in time. The Ag and Zoning Committee did concur with that. They have recommended it to be approved also. Any questions? We discussed a lot of issues, people on this regard to water, sewer, drainage, etc. Okay? We can get those issues.
So moved to approve this.
Motion by Flott, second by Gimbel. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion carries.
The second item on your agenda is in regards to what is equal to a final plat subdivision, which is indicated as at 115, which is the zone subdivision. This is a proposed final plat subdivision, which is a 1.6 acre parcel of land located east half of section 26 of Indian Grove Township. What this basically is kind of a need to comply with county zoning regulations, and that there was a house on the property at one time, part of the farm property, and they decided to divide that out into farm buildings and created a 1.61 acre tract along with that. The county follows the Plat Act, so anytime you take a second tract of land off of a larger piece of ground, it's less than 5 acres, you need to have a subdivision. Through the years, there was an original farmhouse. Next to that, to the east, they built a number of family houses on the property. And that house remained with the farmer. As people have died and the states have gone through issues. They divided the property, so the farmland is now separated off. And there's 5 acres that goes along with this 1.61 farmland, which they're wanting to sell to the adjoining farm owners, so all the family to the adjoining agricultural property. So all the farmland was separated, and then 2 residential lots were separated. So they're asking to create a twin 1.61 acre single parcel of ground for the existing house, where it has everything with it, create subdivision. So 4 years of final plats, so there's no new roads involved, no utilities. It's just dividing the property, it's less than 3 lots, so we just do a final plat on it, and that's why it's before you. It's just kind of cleaning up the state issues with the existing property. It's not the easiest way to explain it to you. And it's scheduled for the planning commission. As with the last one, there's nobody came to public hearings to oppose one of these proposals. The planning commission does recommend us in some cases be approved. And again, that is on the committee did concur with the planning commission recommendations and be approved. Questions?
Motion to approve.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion carries.
Just take a few minutes to kind of clean up a few things with some other stuff. Activities with the Ag and Zoning Committee. First of all, the Chairman asked me to kind of clarify the continuation of the Planning Commission meetings held on February 2nd. And that they did also review the Pleasant Ridge Wind Energy Project application solely in regard to the application being compatible with the county comprehensive plan. After that hearing, pretty well known that the Planning Commission found that the application is not compatible with the comprehensive plan. This is a non-binding recommendation, which I'm looking to be formalized, presented to the Zoning Board of Appeals at a future meeting, and a copy of this formal recommendation will be made available to the county board, along with the Zoning Board of Appeals recommendation. And yes, the formalized issue is that I want to complete the minutes of that meeting, kind of attach it to this, because the resolution itself is a very basic resolution saying that this was applicable to this. So I'm going to have the minutes to kind of back up and give you an idea as to what the discussion was during that meeting. So that's my formalization of that to get that to you and forward. So that's one issue to come before the zoning board because it will be part of the package of all the recommendations that come before you here. So we'll work on that. Just kind of follow up in regards to the already scheduled hearings for the review of the Pleasant Ridge Wind Energy Project. We have one scheduled is coming Monday, February the 23rd, and then on this following Wednesday, February the 25th. Both those meetings will be starting at 6:30, and both will be held at the Walton Center in Fairbury. At the one Monday, the 23rd, at this point in time, subject to change. Planning on bringing Mr. Punchback. He was the expert witness of the Michigan State. Hopefully he'll come back and we're working on scheduling those people back on the 25th. We have some time to kind of do what we did last night and kind of have it open up to a list of interested citizens to testify, kind of move along with that. In my desire, along with a lot of other people's, to kind of conclude the Pleasant Ridge Wind Energy Project hearings. And we're trying to work as quickly as we can as a group. I'm starting to look at scheduling issues for future meetings, starting today to a degree and doing them tomorrow, and kind of formalizing them next Monday. I looked at my schedule for March, and I have a whole lot of conflicts with my county meetings, so it's kind of working to kind of include this in March, and let's kind of move forward with it. Some options I kind of looked at when I was looking at scheduling today is that we've kind of neglected or kind of worked past scheduling some meetings during committee week, during the first week there. And there's a lot of people are asking for kind of some meetings in that, trying to propose, but these aren't confirmed yet, some ideas I have in regards to that. In part because we're having some information being presented at public rich hearings that kind of go with the review of all the wind energy ordinances that go with that. And the more information we're getting over here, it's kind of making the review of the ordinances more perplexing. So I'm going to try to propose to utilize the time a little bit more efficiently in that when the Ag and Zoning Committee meets on the regular meeting on March 3rd, we'll kind of dedicate that regular meeting to basically the regular business, some landfill details on the layout, because we have a few new committee members that when I start signing parcels A, B, C, D, and so that probably needs to be explained to them, so I don't ramble on through that all the time. Take time to do that at the meeting. We come back after that meeting at 7 o'clock that night, have the Zoning Board of Appeals. We'll use this facility, have them hold like a 2.5 hour meeting, kind of achieve that there and kind of move that along. And then kind of duplicate that on the following Thursday, March 5th. And the Zoning Board has a regular scheduled meeting that night. It's already scheduled to start at 6:30. They have some cases. Sometimes when they're approved special uses, they'll have to review and make sure that they're still operating the way they're approved. They have a series of those cases that will be approved that night. It'll take about an hour, so 7:30, then they can kind of move into public Pleasant Ridge hearing that night and kind of move forward. That way, kind of we're not wasting time, we're kind of utilizing that time to kind of move forward with some wind energy things, just kind of moving them from being 2 or 3 things at once to one thing at once, get Pleasant Ridge out of the way and do that. So then the intent is to kind of come back and work on ordinance issues, in April instead of now. So we kind of work with that to make it forward. So that's kind of what I'm working on. If anybody has any objections, kind of let me know. I'm willing to start trying to formalize it from that point on as we move along.
Chuck,
Yes.
will you be contacting then the people that are serving on that ordinance committee that are not regular members of the Ag and Zoning Committee to let them know that we're kind of taking a hiatus for March?
I can do that.
Thank you.
Joe?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Chuck, you mentioned some housekeeping, talked about some of the CPA stuff. I was going to bring this up under public comment, but this might be a more appropriate fitting for it. Last night there were some things discussed about one of my constituents, Richard Fox. I think it was highly inappropriate by members of the CPA making those comments towards Richard and his family. And I think that they're owed a public apology. I'm making that here tonight on behalf of the Livingston County staff. If the man was there to defend himself, I can see it. We've got witnesses coming in from both sides of this fight or this hearing, and nobody's been accused of being biased or unbiased. That's there for whatever reason. It was very unfair and it was inappropriate of the staff to make reference to Mr. Fox that was done last night. And I'm going to apologize on their behalf, and I am going to take it up to the zoning chairman. I just think that needs to be curbed in the future. I've had a couple people tell me today there's some other issues that you guys are going to have to work through, but that was highly inappropriate, and I'm raising here publicly, and I am apologizing to the Fox family. I should have raised the roof last night. It wasn't my scene. Thank you.
Your comment will take it to the rest of that.
It's going to get addressed.
Any other questions for Chuck? We're going to excuse him to go to a band concert. So, got questions for him now? Time. What instrument do you play in this band?
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
Just repeating what he said in case you weren't listening carefully. The Wex ordinance review will not be on the agenda at the March Ag and Zoning meeting. The meeting will last only from 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock. We'll take care of other business. And that's so that the Pleasant Ridge hearing can begin at 7 o'clock right here. I have nothing further to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Moving on to Elections, Rules, and Legislation Committee. Jack Beatty, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. We have, under A, we have a reappointment, Joe Buchanan, to the Zoning Board of Appeals, 5-year appointment. I'll make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Beatty. Second by Kestner. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All those against?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Okay, under B, we have a resolution amending the animal control fees. And we have the sheriff and the Cox here. Anybody ask them any questions? You have that resolution in front of you. Have any questions? Anybody?
Anybody have any questions for the sheriff on this? You're off the hook.
I will make a motion then to approve that.
Motion by Beatty, second by Weller. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arnett. Yes. Buddy.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Weller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Beatty.
Yes.
Heath.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Eagle, Young,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Lot,
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Bannon,
Yes.
Kester, Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. Gay. Moving on to Sheriff General License Committee, John Miller, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 3 action items. First one is a liquor license application, Class B, for the Four Corners Restaurant, which is about 4 miles south of Streeter, at the intersection of 23 and 17. And this was approved in the committee on contingent that we got a bond. And since then, it's been approved, and we have that. So I would make a motion to approve that license application.
Motion by Yoder, second. By Arbogast. Discussion?
I have
Mr. Station?
Yeah, was there an issue about this, at least a couple years back with the liquor license?
We've never had a liquor license with them.
Yeah, didn't they apply for one a couple years ago and you shut it down for some reason or another?
That was the convenience store that's in town, just south of the county line.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with the Four Corners.
Mr. Ritter?
Yeah, didn't we, so we had asked them for coming up with the bond, and there seemed to have been a holdup. What was the issue with getting the bond issued? Or do we even know? I mean, it seemed like it took forever.
They didn't realize that they needed the second bond, I guess, is what I was told. And when I talked to Michelle Cooley, who's the one that had, as a manager applied for it, she didn't realize that her insurance agent hadn't gotten it to us in time. He was working on it, so I told her, and they got it here, and we got it.
So it was just a clerical error.
Miscommunication.
It wasn't there was an issue, it was just
No.
that, okay.
We wanted to, we asked the committee, contingency, that
Well, one
he
that,
would have the bond because he didn't want to wait another month until he approved it.
yeah.
So, since the committee, now we get the bond, so.
Yeah.
Let me see. When you say he, you're talking,
The owner.
and then there's another name, there's a lady that runs that. It's not you,
Michelle,
correct?
Michelle Cooley, and they're leasing the establishment, and she's got a partner, but he is not applying for the license, it's just her.
And the license goes to her, but the bond had to come from the owner of the facility. Is that what you're saying?
She had to get the bond. There was a liability bond for like $1 million, and there's the second bond that they have to have. And for the class, what is it, it had to be at least $250. It's like a surety bond or something. And they received those. So they were both of them now, and Seth did, I faxed this over to Seth, and he looked at it yesterday, so it was fine to him, so.
So everything's good to go, sheriff sign off? He wasn't paying attention, was he?
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those against? Motion carries.
B and C, the sheriff's annual report and the sheriff's semi-annual report. We will have to vote on those separately, as I understand it. But we have the sheriff here, and he's kind enough to stand in front of us and answer any questions about those reports. We received them in an email, so I'm not going to have you go through it. But if you have any questions, there he is.
Any questions for the sheriff? Mr. Station?
Tony, did you get the van issue taken care of? Did you guys order the new van, or did you get it in?
No, it's not
I
anymore.
remember you looked at the VAC van, you were gonna go down a different avenue. Did you order one?
Yes.
We did. And it's not in yet?
Kind of like the guys that were on the jail handle that side of things. Told them they would have it, it's gotta be some time because it's a special operated van that will be used for local and for county and federal transfers.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for the sheriff?
Hearing none, I will make motion to approve the sheriff's annual report.
Motion by Yoder, second by Peterson. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arvidas. Yes. Bunny.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley. Miller.
Yes.
Mays. Etienne.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Yoder.
Yes.
Coleman. Sturman.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Bannon.
Yes.
Kistner. Peterson.
The next item on the agenda is the sheriff's Senate annual report. And he's still standing there. He'll entertain any questions.
He'll entertain half the questions.
Yeah, half the questions. Hearing none,
Motion by Steichen, second by Yoder. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Arvidas. Yes. Bunny.
Yes.
Kimball.
Yes.
Harley.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Etienne.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Yoder.
yes.
Coleman. Yes. Steichen.
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Locke.
Yes.
Allen. Yes. Bannon.
Yes.
Kistner.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
That concludes my report, but the sheriff is in an introduction.
Please allow me to introduce the new Livingston County Sheriff Chief Deputy, Earl Decker. Thank you.
Yes, Sheriff.
Bracken, you make this short. Okay, moving on to the Information and Technology Committee, Vicki Allen, Chair.
The minutes were sent out to all the committee, and I have no other presentation.
Okay, thank you. Personnel Committee, Kathy Arvidas, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Due to inclement weather, we do not have a meeting, so therefore, there's no report.
Okay, thank you. Public Property Committee, in the absence of Mike Ingles and Stan Weber, do any of the property committee members have anything that they would want to talk about or add? I'll take that as a no report.
Amen.
Admin Committee, no report. Veterans Assistance Committee, Joe Steichen, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You all have a copy of the minutes. If there's any questions, I'll entertain any questions. If not, I don't have a report, but I would ask that Mr. Ritter share some information with you about the headstone.
Thank you. So as of about 4 hours ago, we received notification from the federal government that the 3 Civil War veterans that we have been trying to identify and come up with proper documentation as to who they are has been accepted by the federal government, and all 3 headstones are in the process of being shipped to Pontiac, Illinois, to Pontiac Granite. And so the hard work of these kids has proven to be fruitful, and now we will have the proper documentation, the proper recognition of these 3 soldiers here in Livingston County in Odell Township Cemetery. And so it's now the process of following the proper procedure set forth by the military. We are going to be working directly with the military and the cemetery to make certain that all of those procedures are followed through as the way they should be for the government. And so, with that being said, it brings me great pleasure to tell you that we have 3 Civil War veterans who will now be able to be not only identified, but they will be celebrated in a proper fashion, not only with the students of Pontiac High School, but the people of Livingston County.
Thank you.
Paul, you'll be back to the dates, because I think that ceremony is going to have full military honors if I
It is.
recommend it.
It is. After speaking with Mr. Mulhorn of the Armory here today, they assured us that as long as we can complete everything, we would have full military honors, and it would be able to be attended by anybody in the public as well. I do know that after speaking with Mr. Brian Blair, who's our English teacher, his students have been involved in writing the eulogies for these three gentlemen. Our music and chorus teachers, Mr. Schmink, Mr. Schickel, and Mr. Durbin, the chorus has said that they will be singing the battle. I don't want to speak, but I think it's in the Battle of the Republic, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said. But they'll be singing, and then the band will be playing as well. So I think it'll be a great tribute to who these people were. And I would just say that these three people were heroes. One in a tremendous battle. The other two were not real certain. But either way, as a direct result of these three people and the other Civil War veterans out there, as well as the other veterans of the other war, we are free today as a result of it. And I can't be more proud of the hard work that these kids have done. So,
that concludes my report, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Livingston County Housing Authority Board, our representative on that is Kelly Coleman.
The Housing Authority and Livingston Property Development meet 6 times a year. We met on January 21st to answer any questions about the new property that we're working on. All interested parties, Buckeye Community Hope Foundation, U.S. Bank, the architect, our board, members of the public were all there. The beginning of the meeting was every question anybody wanted to answer, or any question anybody wanted to ask. And then the end of the meeting was answer to every question. And then we went back and forth with other questions that came about as a result of that. There are 2 boards, actually, the Housing Authority Board and Property Development Board. Despite the name, Livingston County, it has nothing to do with the county. It is located in Livingston County, but all funding comes from HUD, has not come through the county. The next meeting is on March 18th at the Housing Authority at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. All meetings are open to the public. If there's any questions about the project or anything, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Coleman?
How much notice did that authority give to adjacent property owners or in the area? I understand from a couple of people that they didn't know what was going on, but it was in front of the town council.
It's actually been going through the mayor's office for a couple of years. The application didn't even go in for this project until several back and forth went through the mayor's office. So this was not news to them. It was not news at all. It's not that it was endorsed by the mayor, but it was not a surprise. We'd been just in discussion for a long time. And when I say we, I mean the people who are doing this. I sit on the board, we meet 6 times a year. Everything was done in accordance with the way it's laid out legally. So all notice was put out in the paper, everything was done legally. However, that being said, I'm not comfortable that people were notified. I don't think people had a good sense of what was happening as it was going on. So that was one of my big takeaways from the meeting, and the thing that I have talked about since then is better reaching out to people. People don't read the paper like they used to, and a legal notice is hard to interpret even if you do. So that, yeah, mea culpa for that. I didn't see it as my job to be the public affairs person, but I could have made a better effort knowing that now I would have.
So how many residential apartments will be in there?
The project is slated for 26. It is actually zoned. That piece of property is zoned for 42. So the property we're talking about, if you're not familiar with it, is the old hospital site. You can do development there. And that is actually a public-private partnership. Private community development bears all risk. The Housing Authority will hold the deed, they will do the administrative tasks, that they bear no risks. If this goes belly up or whatever you want to call it, the housing authority is not on the hook for anything.
And trustee, who is not paying for this?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a not-for-profit, you can look them up. Yeah, this project has public and private funding. It's a tax credit project in part. There's also a loan. So they had to have, they did a survey, basically a needs assessment to guarantee that they're going to get their money back. They didn't come to this project just for no good reason.
Any other questions from Ms. Cole?
At any point, if you have any questions, I'm sure I can find more answers. Please do feel free to contact me.
All right, now public comment. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes per person, 30 minutes total.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
if you would care to have a very brief public property committee report, basically the outcome of that meeting was actually previously tonight, Dave Johnson controlled service agreement and the BSC shower. That's what came out of the property.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wells. Public comment?
Good evening.
Name, please.
My name is Dr. Dave Beek, veterinarian out of Hatfield Pet Hospital. I'd like to take just a couple minutes of your time to reiterate some of the issues that have come up with the wind energy, the ZBA hearings, and possibly offer a little bit of perspective on a few things that have come up. First off, the wind energy provided multiple doctors talking about how they couldn't agree in the medical community that their wind turbines are not a health risk. But they did say others do say that it's a health risk. The fact that they cannot agree that it's not a health risk doesn't mean they can't agree that it is a health risk. So either way you want to spin it, there's no agreement there. Along the lines of that, with the ZBA hearings, they've been in the research that's released. Most of the physicians will agree that there's anywhere from 1% to 15% of people do suffer some sort of wind turbine syndrome, an actual medical condition. Depending on which side you look at it, it's either 1 or 15 or somewhere in the middle. My greatest concern, we wouldn't do that with much anything else. We wouldn't allow an automobile to release where the brakes only work 99% of the time or 85% of the time. And you're willing to allow someone to put a wind turbine into their neighbor's yard, their farmland, and be within the footprint and still potentially cause medical conditions to the family, let alone the children. Second, one of the doctors that came up to the ZBA meeting said, in her opinion, that there was no direct medical effects on people. So even if someone doesn't agree that the 115%, she agreed that there's a lot of people, anywhere from 15 to 45%, who are having what's called a placebo effect. And if you're not familiar with what the placebo effect is, in research studies, you have a control group, say you're trying to release a certain drug. That drug is given to half the people. The other half the people, you're told, yes, the drug's in there, but it's actually not. A small percentage of those people will actually have what's called a placebo effect. They want to feel better, and they will actually make themselves feel better, or vice versa. The wind turbines are annoying them, thus they will feel bad, even though they're not actually having any increased pressure, they're not having any increased levels of cortisol or anything else in their body. The problem arises from wind energy. When you have a research study, that placebo effect, yes, it can occur, but eventually that drug, that experiment, stops. These windmills aren't going away. They're going to be up there for at least 20, 25 years, possibly even longer, likely even longer. So that placebo effect will continue to respond. These people will still have medical conditions, whether it's truly related to the winter event or not. They will still have problems. Do we really want to allow something like that to occur? Unless wind energy wants to start to hire psychologists and convincing everyone here the wind turbine that's all in their head, it just doesn't make any sense. Along the lines of that, to go against this doctrine, there's a research study that came out, and it's a Polish study, and one of the earlier doctors in the ZBA hearing brought it up, and he just kind of shoot it off. In the Polish study, it showed that the geese raised near turbines had lower growth rates and higher levels of cortisol. If you're not familiar, cortisol is a stress hormone. It's in people, dogs, cats, birds, everything. Okay? When you have higher levels of stress, you have higher levels of cortisol. The doctor said the farther they got away from the wind turbines, the effects were less. A few things he forgot to mention, that no matter how far they were away from the wind turbines, everyone had increased levels of cortisol. And this was only over a 12-week period of time. Now imagine a lifelong period of time for a child. Okay? One of the more disturbing aspects that he loved to leave out there, and this is a quote from the actual abstract: lower activity and some disturbing changes in behavior of animals in group 1 that actually caused disturbing behavior changes in geese. That should send up a red flag right there. So, I know I'm short in time here. Long story short, there is actual medical problems with these wind turbines. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you think it's a placebo effect or not, it's still there. As far as, is it Forest City, the grade school, was it grade school or junior high? Junior high. Over 300 kids that are put wind turbines within a mile of that. What potential risks are we doing to these children? Let alone that live even closer to that. How much money is it worth to risk these kids? How much money is it worth to risk your kids? My kid, my 6-year-old child. There's no money in the world that can allow me to even take a 1% chance to allow him to have any harm done. I'm going to go on a road trip, I got 1% chance I'm going to get hurt. 1% chance my child will be chronically affected. I'm not taking the friggin' road trip no matter how much money you give me. And that's what we're doing here.
Can you wrap this up, Doc?
Yeah. You guys need to think about your own kids. You need to think about how many people want these wind turbines that are getting money. There's not that many out there. Take the people out that are getting money. They're getting buttloads. But I'm not getting any money. And all these people out here aren't getting money. And we sure as heck don't want to risk our families. There's other alternative sources of energy out there. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you. Next meeting will be March 12, 2015 at 6 p.m. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Rivers, second by Gessner. All those in favor?